Everything you see here is strictly informational. Forex is a high-risk business. Please do not place trades with more money than what you don't have. Please do not trade other people's money. Do not borrow any money than what you cannot trade with. And please take everything that I say as a personal opinion. I am not considered a financial advisor. I'm not considered a broker. I am just one here simply recording my journey along learning the markets.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my thing I call Bodies and Wicks, where I analyze the crap out of markets. Whatever market it may be, it could be crypto, which I'm going to do today. It could be indices like the S&P and the NASDAQ. It could be forex pairs like USD CAD or whatever it is. I just like to analyze markets, something I like to do. And I've gotten fairly decent at it and made some decent money at it. And I just like to share with you guys and see you guys think. So again, welcome. If you don't know what I do, that's exactly what I do. So in case you're wondering, also, if you do like what I do, there is a subscribe button that you can hit. Go ahead and hit subscribe. It gives you notifications that when I give, or won't give you notifications, but it lets you know when I make new videos. You can hit the notifications bell, all that stuff when I come out with new videos, things like that. That way, whenever I do make a video, you'll find out. So today, what I do want to go over is Ethereum. First, I want to give myself a plug. I did make this thing called Twitter. I don't even know what Twitter is, but if you do have a Twitter, you can go ahead and follow me. It's under the same name of Bodies and Wicks. It's at Bodies Wicks with an X, right? But saying that, let's just go ahead and get to the chart, shall we? I know I have ZEC pulled up, but actually no, I don't. Here we go. Here is Ethereum. So Zcash, I've been looking at very, very carefully. I've been trading Zcash, and it's been proven quite well. But I won't. Maybe I'll get into that later. But Ethereum, what I've been looking at here is I've been reading all these articles here. Here's one, Ethereum taps key resistance as analysts watch for a rebound to falter, saying it could, tap another low. And then I have this one here. Textbook Signal predicts Ethereum has room to drop after 35% correction. And they give a little chart here. It has a little candle, a weekly candle, saying, "Hey, this is a sign that Ethereum could drop." Looking at this chart myself, I see this as the exact opposite, and that's what I'm going to get into. So now that I am looking at Ethereum, excuse all these lines here, but they all do mean something. So whenever I was looking at Ethereum and we haven't seen, since July, we've kind of seen this growth of Ethereum, and especially recently, this past week, Ethereum hit its peak, right? And then it kind of just gave a pretty big, sharp decline. The thing is that it rebounded off a particular level, somewhere around the 310 level, and then it bounced back. Some people are saying that this is a correction and that this is an intention for it to fall again. I do not see that happening, right? In 1 second, I'll show you why. So, if you look over here, in these three boxes that I have, right? These three boxes that I have, and when I go back and I look at Ethereum throughout time, I have a couple of these boxes kind of drawn out, and what this is these are basically what I call order blocks, right? These are areas to where people aren't necessarily trading, or I guess you could say they're trading, But everything down here, anything below these boxes, people are kind of investing, right? They're throwing money in, they're expecting Ethereum to grow. And until you get into one of these boxes here, this is where the actual trading begins. People think price is too high, or people think it's going to explode, so they'll continue buying more. It has gotten enough for people that have been investing for a while to want to sell off. That way they can make money. It drops a little bit, people buy, and it just kind of goes that way until it finally kind of falls out of this, and then again it drops down again. What I found interesting is that just a little bit after that, I find this box here. Now, this box here actually has one of the lows that I haven't seen in quite some time. It's right at $90. And it also has one of the high. I love to look at volume, because volume will give you a very, very good idea of how many people are actually either selling it or buying it. And this is one of the highest volumes I've seen in Ethereum, is in this one candle, right, that drops to this low, which is almost, what is that? I want to say, I don't even know how to read that, 507.189,000. So I think it's like, 50 million or something like that. I don't really understand. Well, I think about 50 million. So there was a very, very large decline, and that had a huge amount of volume. And just before that was also 456 in that. So a lot of people sold, and as soon as a lot of people sold, a lot of people bought. This tells me this has something to do with some kind of institutional play. There was somebody here with a lot of money. They saw this as a potential to, even though they had probably been holding for quite some time, probably way below this, and they saw this as a potential to sell as much as they could and then buy it at probably what they thought was going to be the cheapest price in a long time. Because after that, you do not see it come near this $90 mark. So that's why I found this in particular box so interesting, because it had the highest volume, and you also see the lowest low that you have in a very, very long time. So that being said, for one, I don't think we're going to see Ethereum get below $90 ever again. Number two, as you can see, Ethereum kind of just steadily climbed. It didn't really have any of these kind of stair-step boxes that I'm about ready to show you. It just kind of traded as it normally would. Now, once we get into, July of this year, you see you see one huge leap going through right here, right? And even this volume wasn't even that great, right? It was only a 98.538,000, so it wasn't near that 400 500 point whatever it is K. So you see that kind of leap, and then you see kind of what I like to call like an order block, where you can kind of see the price kind of going up and down, and then it jumps over up into another one. So you can see there's another large leap here. So this is crossing resistance. So this here crossing resistance right here would probably, I guess you would say, this would be the support area. That right there would be a little bit of a support area. I could have drew this box probably a little bit down, a little bit more. And then it does it again. Right here's another big leap, right? And gets across that resistance, makes it support. I guess I could have brought that down a little bit more. Let me undo this one. And then it doesn't take but more, maybe just a couple days later, it does it again. Now, this is the box that I find probably the most interesting out of all of them, because it is just going sideways. From July 26th until about August, maybe July 31st, somewhere around there. So it just completely goes sideways. There is a lot of people placing orders, buy orders, sell orders, buy orders, sell orders. And it could, for my my thinking would be people selling to try to get it to low to where they can buy again, right? And then who knows, it could be a different group doing the same thing, waiting for it to get a little bit higher, they're going to sell, wait for it to get a little bit low, and then buy. And then after that, you see it do that. You see it do it again. You see it take off. You see it break that resistance. And then what we have is a test. And so that's where I marked this right here, this green line here. That is the new support. That is a new support that we have right here at 329.99. And how I know it's a new support, not only did it test it once, after we had this major growth, we had this huge sell off, it tested this again, and then it jumped right back up. So this 329.99, 330 area is a very important area to watch. And so again, now you can see the trading start happening, right? People are doing their thing, whatever it is. I guess you consider this another box as well, where people are placing orders. I don't really think it's too much of an order block is what you would consider this one to be, but it does the same thing. It drops up, or it drops up hello, it jumps up, and it gets to a comfortable price to where people have probably been making some decent money. They let go of it. It gets back down, and then you see another one of those blocks again, kind of right through here, right? And then again, break support, and then that's when we finally see that high that we haven't seen in quite some time, especially breaking that 400 mark. And I don't really think the 400 mark was. I mean, I guess it was a pretty a mark that was pretty important, but I think the 405 mark was just a little bit. I think because it was flirting around that 400 mark for so long, that I think 405 actually became kind of more of the actual resistance support area than anything. So, and as you can see, whenever it would dip down into those areas, it would jump back out, or if it got below it, it would come up, test it. So the 400 range is definitely a good support, resistance area between that 400 and 500. Again, like I said, we broke above it. Enough people had made their money. They said, screw it. This is a good enough, takeaway for me. I'm going to go ahead and sell. So it went ahead and sold off, right? And it got back down below this 400 mark. Perfectly fine. Oops, didn't mean to move that. Now what happened after that is it then dropped below again this support line, right? And it dropped below the support line, and then it dropped again that other support line. So this is at 329.99, which was the top of this box here. This box right here that I was talking about, to where a lot of orders were being placed. And again, you can also see that in the volume here. Volume ranging, pretty much anywhere between, 30 to 75K. Somewhere between. There was a small one, but other than that, there's quite a bit of a range of volume to where it didn't move anywhere. As to where you can see smaller volumes, through here, that we're actually pushing it up, and even I want to say this one. Yeah, this is a fairly big volume, about 100 something million, or 10 point something million. But that being the case, now that I have this green line marked as the at that point would have been the resistance, you see it dip down below into this level to where those order blocks are all being formed, right? And what does it do? It jumps right back out of it. So this tells me that this is a very, very, very important area that we should be watching. And I think that even though some people are predicting, I just put another low, basically. That's where the low of that order block was. And I'll go ahead and mark that one green as well, just so we know what we're playing with here. And I'm going to throw this one blue just so we don't get anything mixed up. So these two green areas are where that order block area was being formed, right? So it dips down below in this order block area, and we get an immediate rejection coming out of that. And this is the 4-hour chart, mind you. So as soon as we get an immediate rejection out of that, that just tells me that there was a lot of people holding on to, you know, their holdings in Ethereum. And they think that this is a level that it's not going to get below. So if they don't think that this is a level that they're going to get below, guess what? They're going to throw a lot of more of their, you know, their holdings into this. So, and as you can see with the volume, even though this one dropped about, 20 something million, it came back up about, 90. Came back up 50, so these are some fairly significant numbers as far as volume is concerned, and we got right back up out of it, right? So now we're playing in this area here. So for someone to, and I think that was the weekly chart that someone said that that is what we need to be aware of. So I do want to look at this weekly candle to see what they were suggesting, that this was a buy candle. So again, these are these boxes that I had lined out. Again, it dropped below this box, and then it came right back up, or it dropped into this box right here. That's what I meant to say. It dropped back into this box, and then it came back up. So with the rejection of this, even though it did fall, it came into this order block to where people had been placing a lot of orders, and then it rejected right out of it. So, and let's dig a little bit deeper here into the 1 hour time frame and see what we've been doing since then. So since we had dipped into, here's those two green lines here, since we had dipped into here, right, you can easily see that this is definitely kind of a support resistance line. So couldn't get above it here, finally got above it, stayed above it, little drop below it, got above it again, stayed above it, and then it dropped below it, and then again stayed above it. So I think this 330 is going to be definitely your magic number when it comes to Ethereum. And to suggest that you're going to have a 35% drop again from here, I do not see that possible. I see that this area right here in between 306 and 330 is an area to where there's a lot of people that have a lot of their holdings in Ethereum, and they believe that is going to be the area that you're going to be wanting to buy, right? So I think Ethereum still has a lot of steam ahead, and that is primarily the reason why, is because, again, you kept seeing these stair-step movements, of people, putting their holdings into the Ethereum. Before that, it was just kind of playing this game to, it was just an altcoin that people, would buy into. But now that it's made its move the last couple months, and it made it high this last week, of course you're going to see a huge sell-off, because you're going to want to see the short sellers, make their money out of this. But now what you're going to want to see is you're going to see people play off this level. I mean, and you might see it come down and touch this 330 level, quite a few times, or come below this 330 level quite a few times. But I wouldn't expect it to stay below it. If we get a close below this 306, 305 area, I think that's when we're going to be most likely in trouble, as far as it being more of a bearish move. But just because the weekly candle shows that, it had a spike up, it had a spike down, and it closed, lower than normal, That's just because it reached a high. It reached a high that we haven't seen before. Of course, everybody's going to sell off. But to say that there's going to be another 35% correction after that, I just don't see it happening. So, if you are a trader, me personally, I use MetaTrader 4. I have been trading Ethereum. I've been trading Litecoin. I have been trading Zcash. Zcash has been my favorite, to be honest, because it's on a roll right now. And Litecoin just been kind of going here and there. But they're all having their good moments. It looks like recently, especially or later in the week, even yesterday, I guess you could say, it looked like a lot of the altcoins kind of had their lowest dip. And it seems like now, people are starting to say, okay, this is starting to get serious. It's not going to be as dramatic as a fall of as to what it could be. Unfortunately, I was trading, XRP whenever this fall was happening for all of the altcoins, and I was making a little bit, but I wasn't making a lot. I was literally scalping 5 pips here and there, because I didn't realize it was going the opposite way, or else I would have been selling instead of trying to buy. But now that I see the sentiment with the altcoins, especially things like Ethereum, things like Zcash, things like Litecoin, are all kind of heading toward a more bullish pattern. And here's Zcash right here, and this was my trade. So I made my trade yesterday. I think it was somewhere. It says about 2100 or so. So that would have been around 7 o'clock, something like that. That's about right. I remember when it happened. I remember it bounced off the 200. It came back. It hit the 50. And once it hit the 50, that's when I decided to pull the trigger, because it already bounced off the 200, right? If it bounced off the 200, it'll probably bounce off the 50, and then that's going to give it the momentum to move forward. That's what did happen. I did take one profit already, and that was earlier in this morning when I woke up, probably around 7:30 or so. Unfortunately, I kind of took a nap after that and fell back asleep, or else I would have tried to catch this dip after it crossed both of these MAs. But I am still holding. I'm still holding, and right now I have my take profit set at around 61.50. I want to see if it's going to get above this high here, or 61, probably 61.60. Let me check my phone really quick. Now I have it at 61.50, but I'll probably reset it to 61.60 to see if we can't get it above or near this high right here. But honestly, what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping for another dip in Zcash. What I really want to kind of see Zcash do is I want to see it. I want to see what I want to see is the 50, right, or this 200. I mean, I want to see this 200 start, making the move kind of like this, right, and then Zcash kind of do one of these, and then eventually hit this 200, and then make it move upwards. So I'm waiting very patiently for Zcash to kind of come back and hit that 15 or hit that 200 on the 15-minute chart, because I think on the 1 hour it's the 50 on the 1 hour is basically what it is. So and on the 1 hour, the 400 the 200 is quite a ways away. So that's why I'm hoping on, because it did retest that on the sorry about that. It did retest the 50, but it was just a slight retest. So usually whenever something crosses, it does give a retest. It pulls away. It's the second retest after it really pulls away that really matters. So that's what I'm wanting to see from Zcash before I actually pull the trigger, because I think Zcash is probably one of the stronger altcoins right now. It's the one that's definitely seeing the most growth potential, especially versus Litecoin. Litecoin is just kind of playing sideways. I did have a trade in Litecoin yesterday, and I think I gave it up after about 21 pips. I could have held on to it just a little bit longer, and I probably could have jumped in right here, but again, I'm still waiting on another pullback because I believe we're looking at like the 15 and the 5 minute. 15 minute, it looks like it had just crossed the 50. So I want to see it kind of pull a little bit further away, probably even get somewhere around to this area here. Well, if that would have worked right. Not there, but somewhere around this area here is where I want to see Litecoin kind of get to, because that's going to be a pretty big pool far away from the 50 and the 200. And if we're also going to look at the 1 hour, again, that's going to be pretty far away from the, as you can see, it already made its pretty big pull away from the 1 hour 50 MA. So it's making its way back toward it. It already bounced off of it once. And it's kind of bouncing off of it again. As you can see, the price is right here. I think it's probably going to hit it one more time, make another bounce, only because within the 5 minutes, we're kind of around the area. So I want to see it. I want to see it cross this 50, right, or this 200 on the 5 minute. Get somewhere around here. That way I can pull the trigger. And that way that should give it enough momentum when you're looking at the different moving averages to push itself up and over both the 15 and the 200 MA on the 15, which would also be the 50 on the 1 hour. So I know I meant to just talk about Ethereum. And I felt like I gave a pretty good hypothesis on what we're going to expect to see from Ethereum. Again, it's just playing in an area to where I think we're going to see a lot of rejections happening, especially near that 330 level. So keep an eye out for that, especially if we're looking at the 5 minute chart, because if it crosses both the 50 and the 200 MA on the 5 minute chart, it is going to come near that 330 level, right? It's going to come near that 330 level, and that's what I want to see. And, hopefully maybe even a little bit below it to the 320. And then that's about as far back of a pullback as I think we're going to see. And then it'll continue on. But, and I think, maybe one of these articles, oops, wrong one. One of these articles, I think it did say price action has signals that ETH sub 320 lows may ultimately mark a long-term bottom. That's followed by further upside. So that's basically what I just said. Maybe 320 will probably be the lowest we'll see Ethereum get. That's what I'm hoping for. Hoping to see it get at least down to about 320 before I jump in. But that's what I got for some crypto business today, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks again for watching. Again, my name is Ted. I do bodies in weeks, not weeks. Just call it wicks. And if you don't know what it is, it's a candle. That's where I got my play on words. You'll hear a lot of weird dad jokes from me sometimes. I think I say that in every video, but I've never actually said a dad joke at all. But just keep waiting, because I may say a dad joke in one of these things. You never know. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. Hit the notification button. Hit whatever kind of button it is that you like to use to let you know that I make videos, and hopefully I'll be making some soon. It looks like the market probably just opened, and we should be ready to go for some Forex. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you out there on the trading room. Peace.